Jeez.
You're live right now. Let's see. All right, we'll wait for a few people to come in. And everybody, this is a friend of mine who's an applicant for law enforcement and soon to be a cadet and training as a officer.
Yeah.
And for anybody, oh, Michael Crunkle, hey, woo fucking woo, man. How's it going? Good to see you, man. I'm doing an interview right now. Good to see you guys. All right. Hey, what's up? What's up? NH Mountain Girl. Good to see you, Michael. This is a buddy of mine. He's about to be, he's a recruit. He's a cadet. He's going to be a cadet here pretty soon. And he's going to be working for the police department. And he hasn't gone through any training right now, but he's already been through the application process. And I'm going to do a little interview with him and see if you guys have any questions for him or just general questions. All right, let's see. Hey Brandon, how's it going, guys? Like I said, this is a buddy of mine. He's gonna be a cadet here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And I just want to see if you guys have any questions. He already knows what I do. He knows I'm a cop watcher. He knows I test officers to see if they know the First Amendment. He knows that I believe it's important for them to know what their oath is. He's going to take an oath here pretty soon. An oath to protect and defend our rights.
Yeah.
And, if you guys have any questions, we can answer them. But for now, I would like to ask you some questions myself.
Yeah.
What made you think about going into law enforcement in the first place?
The biggest thing is helping people. I think if I'm able to put myself in a position to make an influence in a positive way to people who deserve it, why not?
All right. I got a question, and somebody wants to know: do you know the 5 freedoms in the First Amendment?
Yeah.
That's
the freedom of press.
Do you remember the acronym I told you about?
Yeah.
RAPS.
Raps.
RAPS, okay? RAPPS. Now, R, what do you think the R would be?
Religion.
Yeah, there you go.
Freedom of religion.
Freedom of religion, the right to, um, worship whoever you want to worship, right?
That's right.
Or even not to worship anybody, the right not to
Yeah.
worship God. You know what I mean? You have the right not to have to believe in any faith or religion.
Yeah. Right.
But you would uphold that right,
Right.
religion or non-religion, if you didn't have a religion. And then A,
Freedom to assemble. Assembly.
assemble, meaning, what would you think that would mean?
Meaning congregations.
Yeah.
And
Gathering up.
gatherings. Yeah.
Going downtown and hanging out downtown on the corner, on the sidewalk, on any public place.
Right.
Parks, the sidewalks.
See, freedom of press.
Freedom of press.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got RAP, press,
Press.
and then
There's another P, which is E. It's right before speech.
petition.
Petition.
And you want to petition your government for any redresses of grievances that we might have. For instance, we don't think you're doing your job right, or we're scrutinizing our public servants, and we want to tell them what we think, and tell them you're doing bad, you're not doing good enough, or vice versa, you are doing good, we appreciate what you're doing. But most of us know that sometimes that's not always the case.
Right.
Because there's officers out there that abuse their authority.
Right.
And we're hoping you're not going to be one of those people that would abuse your authority, or exaggerate a situation for safety purposes, right?
Right.
Because if we give up our rights for safety, we deserve neither.
Right.
But give me a second here. I want to get you thirsty? You want something to drink?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm here with a friend of mine. I don't know if you want to give your name. I think you'll be public soon enough. All right. You're gonna have to give your name eventually. You're gonna have a name tag on there.
Name tag, yeah. Yeah.
And as we were saying, redressing our government for a redress of grievances. We're gonna want to know your name if you're doing good or if you're doing bad, so that way we can address anything that may come up, whether it is good or whether it's bad. Let's see, Mike. Let's see, Michael Crunkle, Brandon Mitchell. Thanks for showing up, guys. How old are you?
39.
He's 39. Let's see. Brandon says petition is always the tricky one. Yeah. People have a hard time remembering that one. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
So, so I think a lot of officers like to. Um, I think that's why they sign up in the first place, is because they want to help people.
Yeah.
Starts out with a good intent, and as we see, there's a lot of officers out there. Although they have good intentions, they sometimes like to abuse their authority by using their safety as an excuse to abuse their authority. You may maybe not even abuse it, but maybe take advantage of their authority. Like, hey, step over there, do this, stay over there. We're trying to do this here. We're doing an investigation. We don't want you interfering. So I think a lot of officers tend to use their safety as a reason to abuse their authority.
Yeah.
Or we're hoping you're not going to be that way. We're trying to give you a heads up now that you're going to go into training. Of course, you're signing up for this job, and you know there's going to be some danger into it, right?
Right.
There's an expectation of danger, of some kind of risk that you might have to take being out there on the streets and protecting citizens' rights.
Right.
Whether it's one citizen against another citizen. Northwoods Press, good to see you, man. Good to see you in here. You guys have any, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Let us know. He's, like I said, if you get just coming in, he's going to be an officer pretty soon, a cadet. He's already applied, and he successfully applied. And I think all he needs to do is start training as a cadet for as a police officer. And a lot of things we like to say is, you know, they like to train with a gun more than they like to train in a book. They need to go more to the law library than they need to go to the gun range, right, guys? But you know, we like to think that these officers will honor their oath, which is obeying the supreme law. The supreme law being our rights.
Right.
The supreme law is the Constitution, and it gives the government limitations, and it acknowledges our rights. It doesn't give us our rights, but acknowledges them. And if you guys, it says, why a cop? Well, he was explaining earlier that, you know, he wants to help people out, and if there's any way that he can help people out as an officer, you know, I think that's what he wants to do. Maybe helping people who are dealing with domestic. I think you're going to be dealing with that a lot. Domestic.
Yeah.
Domestic abuse or domestic issues, where you're going to get a lot of men and women who are arguing. How are you going to decide who's? Are you just going to jump to conclusions right away? Oh, the girl right away, right? Get a call. Oh, there's a fight over here. These two are arguing. I don't know. I can hear them yelling. you know, the first thing you do is do a proper investigation, because you don't want to just blame the guy,
Right.
right? Because, you know, it could be the woman who's,
Yeah. Could be abusing him. Could be we don't know. We don't know anything to be definite until there's a proper investigation and
you ask on both sides, you know.
right.
But what I find is that a lot of, usually when the officers come to call or something like that, usually they might side with the person who made the call originally sometimes, and just side with them um, instinctively, I guess, because they're the complainants. They're the ones that are complaining, so you go over there to see what the issue is and kind of possibly take their sides right away.
Right.
But no, I think the first thing to do is do a proper investigation. Howard County Observer, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. Gregory, why now at 39? Not at 18, what?
That's a good question.
You're 39, you know,
39.
you're midlife right now.
Yeah.
But you're healthy.
Right. Healthy. I can still run. Still. Well, the hopes is that after a few years, I can transition into more of an office role.
Administrative.
Yeah, more administrative role, and see what good I can do there.
Like investigations or like what inside? Because I imagine you're gonna be out there on the streets. They're gonna have you out there in the streets.
Yeah.
Patrolling. You afraid?
No.
Not afraid of let's start off with the very minimum. Cooties,
No.
right? When you're dealing with a bunch of homeless, you might be having to deal with a bunch of homeless people, and you know, they're not going to be the cleanest people.
Right.
No, how do you deal with homeless people? You know what I mean? That's a tough one. Trespassing, loitering.
Yeah.
How do you balance providing protection for a business and providing the rights of the individual homeless person?
That's right.
You know, I mean, yeah, this guy doesn't, you know, he doesn't have no home. He doesn't have a place to go. He's kind of invading on somebody's property, or you know, yeah. As an officer, you're gonna have to be dealing with a bunch of homeless people that are possibly trespassing on private property. Now you got private property and public property. You got to know the difference between the two.
Okay.
You know, the public's property belongs to the public, and you're gonna have the people of the building that's running the building of, let's say, City Hall. You got security from City Hall calling you up. Hey, this guy's causing a disturbance over here. We want to trespass him. And when you go into something like that, like I said, you gotta investigate properly. What are they doing? Is he really harassing anybody? Is he really causing a problem? Especially if it's somebody like a cop watcher, a First Amendment auditor, or somebody who's engaging in a constitutionally protected activity, such as the press and investigation, or just as a citizen who wants to look at their property, the public property, what they're doing with their tax money and stuff like that.
Right.
And you might have a citizen who's concerned about that, but you have the security saying, "Oh man, this guy's causing trouble." Is he causing trouble? Is he just wanna keep our public servants accountable and transparent?
Right.
Do you have any problem with transparency?
I always wondered about that, because if there's the freedom of press, why aren't there press passes?
There's no press passes because it's a right.
Yeah.
When it's a right, you don't have to have permission to do it.
Right.
It's your right. You don't get that permission from an agency. For instance, there is no agency that does issue out press passes. Let's say the news network or news media itself, they're the ones that issue their own press passes. For instance, if I'm ABC, Newsline, Dateline, or whatever, I create the passes for my employees that I have to say, oh, let them know that you're a member, that we employed you and you're a member of the press. That employee is issuing out his own press pass. Not a press pass that's issued from the government or anything. It's just saying he's an authorized employee of mine, which, as my company, I deal with the press.
Yeah.
So there's no real government agency that issues out press passes or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's your right. You should have the right to do this. You don't need permission. You don't need a validation, some kind of card or something of that sort. A license or permit for a right, such as the press, the freedom of religion, the freedom to speak, freedom to petition your government for your redress of grievances. Now here, this is where we can educate him, people. Right now, he's gonna go there where they're gonna teach him, it's all about his safety, and of course, it is about his safety. We don't want anything to happen to him, right? This is my friend, so I don't want him to get hurt out there, but he is signing up for the job. He knows that it can be dangerous, and we expect that that he's gonna keep us safe before you keep yourself safe. Right? Our safety should be what
Right.
you're considering first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, you in your own mind, you're gonna, fuck that. I don't, I'm looking out for me first. You know, I mean, being honest, right?
Right.
You know, but signing up for this kind of job, um, you know, you like you said, you want to do something good, and maybe you are signing up to jump in front of that danger for someone else, a stranger.
Yeah.
And let's see, go to some of the comments here. Doesn't have to worry. I look out for myself.
There you go.
Right, Brandon? We should be looking out for our own safety. We don't need officers to watch out for our safety. And in reality, we're supposed to be looking out for our own safety. You're right there. You know what I mean? You know, usually the officer will come in afterwards, after the crime has happened, such as a robbery or battery of some sort. Then usually the officers that come afterward, if you know they come in time, maybe he can come in to maybe break up the fight if they can, right?
Yeah.
Right? Would you be scared to break up a fight? You know what I mean? You got two guys over here throwing blows.
I might let them get tired out first.
Hey, that's an honest answer. You know what I mean? That's an honest answer. Maybe that's the right thing to do. You know, you let them settle it themselves.
Yeah.
They got some issues. They got some beef. What do you guys think? If you guys got two guys fighting, they got some beef. Here comes Officer Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
And he comes to he breaks up these two, or he just lets them battle it out as long as they don't seriously harm each other.
Let's keep it clean. In one corner.
Someone like a ref, let him squash that beef you guys got. Squash it, either you can fist it out or hug it out, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And basically, you know, two people got beef, you know, maybe the only reason why you would have to come in and interfere is, you know, one might be smaller than the other, you know what I mean? And would that be fair if there's one guy that's bigger than the other and trying to enforce his will on the smaller guy, you know what I mean? You know, of course, you know, any guy ain't gonna, most guys ain't gonna admit to that, or, you know, or kind of bow out before that reason, you know, who gives a fuck? I'm still gonna fight you. I don't care how big you are, and you know what I mean? But let's just say, yeah, the other guy is much bigger, has a more advantage. You know what? It is bigger than the other guy, and obviously outpowers him or outweighs him, and maybe he might need some kind of additional help, which would be a gun, right? So now, does that even out the odds?
I'd say, yeah.
You know, the other guy's bigger, the other guy's smaller now. Now the smaller guy, is he stronger than the guy with the muscles because he has a gun?
Yeah.
But it evens out, you know, the guy with the muscles ain't gonna mess around with the guy with the odds. That's what's important about the Second Amendment now. We did the First Amendment, raps, religion, assemble, petition, press, and speech. And And then, the importance of having the Second Amendment, there are people out there that they just aren't strong enough to defend themselves against someone who may be stronger, bigger, maybe even more experienced in fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see, Howard County, a few days ago I went to the supermarket and bought a banana and an apple and and a loaf of bread. Cashier said, you must be single. I asked her why she thought that. She said, because you're ugly. Sorry, man. Oh, right. Shit. See, these guys are funny, man. Yeah, man, if you guys got any questions for me, let me know. Let me see. You still got your drink there?
Yeah.
You got any questions for the audience?
What's the most annoying thing an officer does when he's being interviewed by an auditor? What is like the most like, I think I knew he was gonna do that. What is the I imagine there's probably more than one, but like, is it just the silence? Do you guys get the cold shoulder, or is there something else?
When we one thing is one of the first initial things is when we ask them to identify themselves. Name and badge number, and the first thing they do is they say right here. They point to their chest and point to their name. That's one of. Why can't they just say Officer Joe Schmo, badge number 123?
Right.
No, they can't do that. They always have trouble identifying themselves, being transparent, because they're afraid of the accountability. Now we know your name, right? Well, why do officers are like, why do you want to know my name, right? And instead of verbally or vocally, saying who they are, and they're identifying themselves, like to point to their chest, to their badge, right here. Oh, your officer right here, because that's what they all like to say. Oh yeah, man, you made us laugh. That was a good one. That was funny because I was thinking that was you're telling a serious story or something. Brandon says we don't like officers that give directives. They try to tell citizens what to do, especially if they're not doing anything wrong, right? They're not involved, or they're not part of the traffic stop. Let's say it's a traffic stop, trying to tell the person sitting, the passenger, telling him what to do when it's a traffic violation. You're only supposed to deal with the driver.
Oh, okay.
See, and officers like to control the whole situation, and well, now they want to tell the passenger what to do too. Hey, why don't you take your hands out of your pockets for my safety? I don't know who you are. I don't know
Right, right.
You know, and of course you want to be safe, but you have no reason to believe these people are criminals, so you shouldn't be treating people like criminals. That's the first thing you should be thinking of, to respect the public. You know, not every person you talk to or comes up to you is a criminal or whatever,
Okay.
and try to keep in perspective the situation at hand.
All right.
You know, like, because yeah, if you ever do get someone to come up to record you, and I think you know better because you know me and you know what I've done. So, and you know, you've seen some of my videos too.
Yeah.
So I think you have a little more perspective of what we expect a little bit. You know what I mean? But who knows, when you start going through training, we don't want you to start forgetting those things as they start indoctrinating you about your safety. Hey, you be careful. You need to get home at the end of the night, which is, you know, true. We want you to get home too, but you signed up to, when you clock in, you're there to
Yeah.
help us out, to protect us and
Right.
overall. And yeah, you want to get home too,
Yeah.
but you don't want to throw your authority just because you're doing it. You know,
Just
be a simple little
throw it over there and throw it over
throwing
there.
your weight around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because, or just, you know, it's a simple little. He's jaywalking. Why don't you step back, sir? Everybody step back. There's nothing to see here. You know, keep it in within reason. Always think about reason. Let's see, guys. Why was the baby jalapeno shivering, or the baby jalapeno shivering? Because it was a little chilly. All right, all right. Oh, okay. Someone has a drink in a brown bag, doesn't search it without a reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. Everybody knows my routine over here, right? I think I don't know if you know about
Yeah.
my Fourth Amendment checks here. Now, normally I get a lot of cops that would think, you know, well, you know, whoever's old enough doesn't, you know, who's ever old enough knows what this is, kind of, would know what this might be, right? But you can't tell exactly what it is for sure, right? You have a brown bottle, you have a brown bag. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's alcohol in here.
Right.
Would it mean there's any alcohol in here?
No.
Oh, why not?
Because I don't.
It's a brown bag. Most officers would think that there's alcohol in there. They think there's alcohol in there.
What if there's gunpowder in there?
Gunpowder, right? What else could be in here? Could be anything, right? Anything. You don't know what's in here. But typical, stereotypical profiling would say that this was an alcohol bottle and there was alcohol in here and it was being concealed by a bag. That's what most police officers would jump to the conclusion, is that this is is alcohol.
Yeah.
But before you jump to conclusions, what something you would need to do is articulate why you would think that that is. And most officers would not be able to because there's no way to do that. You can't see the labeling. You don't know what's inside. The only way you would be able to know is maybe by the actions of the individual. Is he slurring his words? Is he stumbling? Is he pissing on the wall? Is he hanging on to people, disturbing all the other public? Hey, making a disturbance. Then you could possibly think, oh, maybe there is alcohol in there, right? That would be the only reason you would come to that there is alcohol in there.
Could the officer just ask you if there's alcohol in there?
Yeah, the officer, you could ask. That would be a good thing to do. But what if I don't want to tell you? That's none of your business what I'm drinking. Why do you want to know what I'm drinking? What am I doing?
Well, that's kind of rude.
That's rude to think that I'm drinking alcohol when I'm not drinking alcohol. If you want to arrest me, if that's what you're trying to do.
I was just asking.
Well, exactly, right? You're asking, right? There's nothing wrong with asking, right? Well, unless, I mean, it might be a little intrusive.
What if I'm like the nicest officer you guys run into and you guys just fail your audits?
Fail in what way? What do you mean? It's we don't fail. We're
Well,
like no, you know what I mean. There's people who do bad cop watching and maybe try to. Sometimes I think maybe there are some cop watchers that might try to what's the word? Escalate things. But as long as they ain't breaking the law, the escalation of, for instance, if I'm recording you and I'm starting to cuss you out and I'm, fuck you, man, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Huh? Look, what? I'm not touching you, or fuck you, you know what I mean? There might be some kind of somebody that just hates cops and are looking to escalate things. You know what I mean? That's a different thing, you know what I mean? Then you start using your reasoning, this guy's is overdoing it, you know what I mean? He is escalating it, he is causing a disturbance, he is disturbing me, disturbing the peace, he's breaking a boundary, personal boundary here, you know what I mean? I can understand in that sense. There might be some auditors like that, cop watchers, that might do something to that extent. But as an officer, you should be able to kind of try to be the better person, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? We do expect you to, hold you to a higher standard. As a public employee and as we pay you, we expect you to have a standard to where, if someone's getting crazy with you, hopefully you've been trained to handle, situations like this. And easy. First Amendment. Hey guys, this is this. If you're just tuning in, my buddy here, he's gonna be an officer, a police officer here in Albuquerque. I think here in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
He applied and he's already passed the applicant stage successfully, so he's gonna be a cadet, and he's gonna be training here pretty soon. When are you gonna be training? Start your training, or what's the next step that you're at? You've just finished your application and your background check and
start doing the drug testing, and then hopefully start the academy here in this month of December,
at the end of December,
mid-December.
mid-December. Glad to see you in here, Barbara. Jack off Jack. Because when I grow up, I want to be a piece of shit like my dad. Like my stepdad. Not my dad. Brandon, they haven't taught him anything. He hasn't went into the to full training yet, into the academy, I guess. He won't go into the academy until later on in this month. Later on in this month, he should be going into the academy where they start doing physical training and probably obviously fire training and hand-to-hand combat and tactics and stuff like that. Obviously, the first thing they teach these guys is how to probably protect themselves. Maybe a little police history, and then probably they start teaching them a little bit about laws. And probably not so much about the Constitution. I think they probably teach him more about how to write tickets for statutes that are broken, mainly for the most common stuff, which would probably be like traffic tickets, domestic disturbances, trespassing, the usual trespassing and interfering and stuff like that. Let's see. All right, Howard County Observer wants to ask you. Now, we covered this a little earlier, but let's see if you remembered. This is from Howard County Observer. What's more important, officer safety or people's rights?
The public's rights.
Exactly. Of course, we want you to be safe, and there's no question about that, you know what I mean? But overall, the bottom line is that you're there to enforce the law.
I'm just there to do paperwork. Y'all need to protect yourselves. That's what I'm gonna tell you guys.
And that's the truth of the matter. We're there we need to be able to protect ourselves, because he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there when you're going to get robbed, because that robber is looking out for to see if there's any cops around, obviously. And that robber's gonna look around to make sure he's not there before he robs someone.
I'm just gonna be there with my little tablet, taking
Taking-
notes,
Taking notes afterwards,
Descriptions.
right?
and then I guess I'll call an ambulance afterwards.
You know, obviously joking, but
Am I?
but yeah, and basically, he's aware of that, and he's aware that he's not good. Maybe you'll be able to see something and catch something that's going on, as it's going on, and maybe actually help somebody in the middle of a crime, which would be, an officer's dream, I think, is, helping someone in that kind of a situation by saving their life from maybe a possible robbery, that could lead to injury or something like that. Possibly you might be there for something like that if you're have a keen eye and you're aware and you're situationally aware of what's going on, and there's something that catches you and you're able to do that. That would be cool. But for the most of it, we know that in general, officers aren't going to be there when that crime happens, and they're there for the cleanup. You to take notes, description, do the after investigation to find out if there's anything they can do to maybe to do something afterwards to find some kind of justice. I have to be at work here pretty soon too. Road piracy 101. Now, giving out tickets. How do you feel about giving out tickets? Issuing out tickets. That may be, that's going to be another maybe possible part of your job that you're going to be doing as you're out there patrolling the streets, looking for crimes or whatever. Maybe you're going to be coming across dealing with public safety, such as careless driving, reckless driving of that sort, speeding, red lights, general traffic. What do you think of traffic?
I think they're gonna have to give me a couple of books of those tickets.
You heard it from him. Look out. He's issuing out them tickets, guys. Don't be speeding. Yeah, paper pusher, Sean Little, and Cap, good to see you. Yeah, guys, we got some questions here. I'm gonna look at the talk there. We're discussing Fourth Amendment, First Amendment. Anything you guys want to ask him? He's gonna be a police officer pretty soon. Need another drink there?
No, I'm good.
I got something else, some Tang, some lemonade.
Lemonade, yeah.
All right. All right, guys, you gotta.
If you find weed on someone, do you let them dispose of it?
Oh.
Would I let them dispose of it? No, they can keep it.
They can keep it.
They can keep their weed.
They can keep their weed. Well, New Mexico it's legal, right? I don't think there would be any reason to be taking it. Ask him. Ask him any questions, guys. He's right there looking at the questions. What did they ask?
Someone commented, "You're hired." Always look cool and calm. All right then. How do you expect to afford 2 sets of handcuffs and 3 magazines? Well, you guys are paying for it.
No, actually, I think cops have to buy their own handcuffs, and I think you might
That's
get.
ridiculous.
I think you might get one
That's ridiculous.
handcuff issued to you, one set.
Why are you auditors so high and mighty about my taxes? Pay your stuff. That's ridiculous. Y'all need to pay for my tools.
I think you do have to pay for your tools.
No, that's gotta change. That has to change.
I think you do. I think you get one set first, for free, and then after
You
that.
expect me to buy my own tools to protect you?
That's
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
You're gonna be paid well. You're gonna be paid well for doing nothing.
You have to get paid more.
For doing nothing. Come on, guys, let's grill this guy.
I gotta protect you. I gotta keep the peace. And I gotta answer questions. And I gotta pay for my own tools.
You gotta uphold our rights.
And I gotta uphold your rights.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta pay for my own tools.
Above all else.
I'm gonna start a donation. Go fund me for proper tools.
Say, become a firefighter.
Oh, do they gotta buy their own hoses, I guess?
Buy your own fire hat.
Oh, yeah.
Be looking like a soldier out there, like all that stuff they got, all looking like they're ready to go into war with the citizens.
Yeah. If I had to pay for all that stuff myself, I'd be sporting it too.
Shoot, save yourself some money. Just have some cuffs, your gun, and a taser.
Someone be out there with shorts. I hope I'm the guy that rides the horse.
Do you have an opinion on the justice system? This is from Brandon.
Well, another reason why the field interests me is so I can learn more about it. I don't know much about the justice system or the ins and outs of it, so it'll be something new to learn. How do the auditors feel about the justice system?
We don't think it's good because first of all, we think that they're not training the police officers enough on the Constitution, which is our rights, right? So they're
Are the auditors always on the same page? Do you guys stick together, or there's differences of opinions there that I can exploit?
there's Did you hear that, guys? He says, are there differences of opinions between us, cop watchers, auditors, journalists, reporters, whatever we are, that he can exploit? And I was just about to tell him that we all have our different styles, different ways of doing it. Like I said, some cop watchers might escalate things and oh fuck you, and try to go up to you and get a reaction, as to where the other ones are just recording to see what you're doing, trying to make it transparent and accountable. But we don't feel it's fair that sometimes the officers just do. Maybe they get desensitized because they're dealing with the shit so much, dealing with the same shit. I don't know what it is that officers will arrest people for just being on the bad side, on the bad side, and basically not doing what you say. Like anything you say is a lawful order. Go stand over there. This guy's not listening to me. He's being uncooperative because he doesn't want to stand over here where I told him to move. You know what I mean? How the way officers sometimes just have an expectation that the citizens just have to follow their orders and do whatever they say. Why don't you step back over there? Why don't you sit down? Yeah, I'm not a dog. I don't need to sit down, but the officers are you gonna be trained to take control of the situation? How is he gonna, and be harder for him to run away or, attack you if he's sitting down? So they train you to control the situations all the time, no matter how small the situation is. You're taking control of it, and that's what we don't like. That officers are taking control of situations where
Do you think that they're successful at taking control of situations?
the officers.
Yeah. You think for the most part, you think on percentage scale, do auditors feel like cops are successful at taking control of the situations?
Well, officers will take control, not successfully though. They'll be violating one's rights when they do. Usually, if it's if it's a cop watcher, an auditor of that sort, yeah, the officers escalate the situation and try to control the situation, overly control it, and try to, because they don't want to be recorded for whatever reason. They'll always claim it's for their safety because they're afraid of the cameras can throw it at you, or even some officers have claimed that it could be a gun.
Okay.
I don't know what that could be. But yeah, we don't think the justice system is fair because we don't think even the officers know the law they're supposed to be enforcing. you're supposed to be enforcing the law, which is our rights. You're supposed to be enforcing our rights, but legislation has already came in and tricked most citizens into believing that safety.
So I have a hypothetical question. Yeah. Let's say I'm out patrolling, and for whatever reason, I'm on public property on foot, and some auditors, cool, started asking me questions, and then a group of pedestrians attack the auditors. Would a comment like, well, you guys need to protect yourselves, be welcomed?
We do need.
Or are you guys, or is it expected for me to protect? Because
You are
protecting
witnessing-
rights,
you
right?
are
I'm
seeing-
protecting, whose rights do I protect at that point? Because if they're attacking, I mean, it doesn't even have to be auditors, right? If I just see two groups
Yeah.
confronting each other at that point, who has more? Because it's everybody's rights
Well,
that we're supposed to
obviously,
protect, right?
one person can't be touching another person without their. So whoever attacks who first is obviously the person in the wrong.
Okay.
The person who hits first is in the wrong, and you're expected to if you're there, and you see what happens, you're expected to protect the people who are defenseless. And not to say that they're defenseless.
But they have the right to protect themselves.
Yeah, they have the right to protect. They can fight themselves.
So if
And
I'm,
as you,
would
as
I
an
be,
officer,
would I be interfering with their rights if I decided
well,
to
you
protect
can
them?
help them. You can help them protect themselves.
Protect yourself, guys. Can I?
Oh, you wanna?
Hey guys, in case you didn't know, you have the right to protect yourselves. You should exercise that right now.
Well, if they didn't know that,
If they didn't know that,
that's where you come in.
Huh? I would let them know.
Yeah, you would let them know, but you would also jump in for them because they're being battered, which is a crime. We're
Oh.
witnessing a crime, battery, of whether it's a group or a single individual attacking another.
See. Are those two different categories? Crimes and the Constitution rights?
Well, a crime is a violation of those rights. The right to be secure in your person's papers and effects, right? So if someone comes and attacks me, I'm not
Okay.
being secure in my papers, persons, effects. So I have the right to defend myself, whether it's by a bat, right to bear arms, whether those arms are a bat, a stick, a blowtorch.
Words?
Words
What
can
about-
be
what
a
about-
good way of defending yourself. Stand back, or you're gonna get your ass kicked.
What about a so to what extent is an individual's, I guess, if an individual says that they don't feel secure, if they don't feel safe with the presence of somebody, let's say 10 feet away, would that be a crime acknowledged?
No,
No? Okay.
they can feel that way, but are they really?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Are they really in fear? Like, what is this person doing?
We can, there's no way to say if the person is lying or telling the truth.
Yeah, you don't know. You know what I mean? But
So if a person comes up to me and says, look, we're on public property,
Mhm.
but this gentleman at the end of the park is, at the other side of the park, I'm worried.
Well, then you're what are you worried about him for? What is he doing, or does he have? Did you see a gun on him? A knife? Is he coming up to you? Does he seem drunk, or is he aggressive to you, sir? Then you start asking the questions, like what is it making you, what's making you fear this person?
Okay.
You investigate, you ask questions, and figure out, and dig into it.
All right.
Because what if that person's just scared of that person's this person just scared of people, right? They've grown up by themselves, maybe, or who knows what whatever situation, whatever reason they're afraid of this person. Is it a legitimate reason?
All right.
Yeah, they're scared. Okay, why are you scared? Is he doing anything to provoke any fear of you?
Right.
No, is he oh, he just keeps on staring at me. Oh,
Ooh, that's a little intimidating, maybe.
it's scary, and it may be intimidating if you see someone just staring at you, right? But that's not against the law. That they're not hurting you, they're not causing you no harm, injury, or loss just by staring at you. That person can be concerned and maybe worried and maybe be prepared, for anything that might happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe see if there's anybody else around. Maybe look for a police officer. Maybe go to somewhere where there's more people, maybe. If it's just them two, might seek some place, you know what I mean? They might have a legitimate reason to be scared, you know what I mean? They're smaller. It might be a woman, that might be a man.
Yeah.
And she's just scared, right? But just because she's scared doesn't give you, all right, sir, you want to move? You want to go somewhere else? Because he has just his right to assemble.
Right.
To be there.
All right.
You gotta kind of really look at the situation and what's really going on here.
All right.
Has there really been an injury? Any harm or loss that's going on? Is it just intimidation? Yeah, okay, well, yeah, but until they touch you, they're not doing anything. Or until they make a threat to where they, you might have a reasonable belief that they are going to hurt you.
Right.
Well, he's construed criminal acts and constitutional. He wants to learn, and that's what we're doing here. We want to. That's how the way most of the public are. They don't realize the difference between our rights and criminal acts. The difference is how they relate, and how they relate is when your rights are violated, that's where the crime comes in. For instance, battery. That's the very bare minimum, I guess you could say, of a crime that that you'll have to deal with. Domestic violence, battery, and stuff like that. Or you're gonna have to deal with issues like people are gonna be calling in to the dispatch, and the dispatch is gonna be telling you this is what happened, blah blah blah, and you're gonna have to go over there with half the story, figure out the rest of it when you get there, and make sure you're getting the right story from both sides.
Yeah.
Well, who called? That's the first thing you go to the person they called first and find out what they want. see how legitimate their complaint is. Is it real? Okay, well that's what they're saying now. Now let's see what the other party's saying. You know what I mean? Maybe they're just doing a bullshit, try to get them in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, they could just be trying to get them in trouble.
Oh.
Are you gonna feel comfortable licking up people's asses and groping folks?
That's a perks of the job.
Well, that's the perks. That's just some of the benefits. Is gets to do a little touchy feel. Oh yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, what's this here? Is that a gun?
Jeez.
You got a pistol in there, sir?
Jeez.
Oh yeah, we're grabbing their junk, asking him what it is. Okay, cops did that to me one time. He said, "You found my gun, mind letting go of it?" Says, "How are them cowards? Don't care as long as they go home safe." Talking about the officers. Officers don't care if they violate your rights as long as they go home safe. Throw you up against the car, make sure you don't have a gun, and search you, even though they don't have a reason to, just to make sure that they go home, make sure you go home safe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care. I'm gonna search you anyway.
Yeah, I had to pay for my own shit anyways. Fuck in the car.
I had to pay for my handcuffs anyway.
Might as well use them.
Got somebody from Texas, hey. You can barely read it. What does that say? Who's that? The bottom one?
Graves. Graves 432.
Graves 4342. Watching from Midland, Texas. Glad to see you here. We got a future police officer here who's going to be training to be an officer here pretty soon. Paula says, oh no, I smell bacon. What's happening here? We got some bacon on the frying pan, guys. We're here to grill them.
Yeah.
This bacon's a little premature right now, but it's curing. The bacon's curing, and we want to grill it a little bit. Get some chicharrones or something.
Yeah.
Some chicharrones here, man. Let's grill this guy. Fresh bacon. Howard County Observer says, I at least pretend to respect them until they give me shit. Then I take the gloves off, so to speak. Priorities. Priorities in your crimes.
Hmm.
What's really important of this comes from, let's see, Jack Off Jack. Priorities. Is it rape kit before traffic tickets? And what he's saying there basically is, what's really important. It is really important to be giving out these tickets to people. Whether you're going to be a road pirate, just pulling over everybody that goes over the 5 miles over the speed limit or whatever. You know what I mean? Where are you gauging the safety and your priorities in
My priorities?
handling the law? What's important to
Well, my priority.
upholding the law?
My priority right now is figuring out a way to get the public to pay for everything that I'm gonna need to do
We're
my
on-
job.
Or we're gonna pay you for being
Just-
out there
just my
sitting
salary?
in your car. To sit in your car.
Am I
and
gonna have to
watch
pay
out.
for the gas in the car?
No,
I better not.
no, you're not gonna have to pay for the car and the gas in the car. Guys, don't let this guy off like this. No, you know what I mean? He knows I told him that you guys are, you guys gonna ask him tough questions or whatever, and he knows that, and he's gonna be, he's being transparent as he can be here, and he wants to answer any questions, and he has questions for us too. He had a question for us earlier. We got Ozzy Nathan who says, respect is earned, not given. Fuck the police. Says, damn, I want some chicharrones. Yeah, but how do you feel about traffic? Traffic, having to uphold traffic law. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speed limits. How much over the speed limit are you right now? You know what I mean? Like, how many miles over the speed limit would you allow? I guess, because I guess it's at a police officer's discretion, right? Because if somebody were to go 2 miles over the speed limit, they're breaking the law. They're going faster than the speed limit. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they teach you in academy, use your discretion. If the guy's he's driving fast, pull him over or whatever. What's your discretion? How many miles over the speed limit?
I'm not sure. I guess I would have to judge the situation if it's dangerous. Because if it's 25, the speed limit is 25 on this road, and they're going 50, then that could be dangerous.
But if there's nobody around, then it's not dangerous, right?
Well, if there's nobody around, then they're just dangerous to themselves. They're just dangerous
And they're
to themselves.
being a fool to themselves, right?
Yeah.
and and really, when somebody's being dangerous and speeding, I think the law or officers or the courts like to say that these tickets are a way to discourage people from speeding, right?
Yeah.
Don't speed, so I'm gonna give you a ticket, $75, $80,
$300.
$300.
Yeah.
See this guy?
Pay for
This
my
guy-
handcuffs, man.
This guy is. Yeah, I don't know about this guy being an
Oh,
officer.
not just handcuffs. They gotta pay for the textbooks, right?
You guys gotta get ready for some complaints to be writing on this guy here.
Yeah.
You're guys gonna have a lot of complaints to write on this one. But
If I find out I gotta pay for my own gas, oh man, you're gonna have to give me lots of those books of tickets.
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you be what is, we find that, the law sometimes is specific to that individual, different for every officer. You might say, yeah, I don't mind you going 5 miles over the speed limit. Another officer might be, oh, I'll let you go 8 miles over the speed limit. I'm not, you know what I mean? Selective, kind of like selective enforcing.
Oh, okay.
Selective enforcing at your discretion.
So if they're kind to me,
So that might sound.
well, let's
That sounds terrible.
let's take a step back from that statement.
I got Jack Off Jack says, no friends except other pigs. I know. My brother-in-law was a cop.
Sounds like a good person.
So he says you're not gonna have any other friends except other cops. And that's where that backing the blue comes into effect, where you see that cop, your buddy, doing something wrong, maybe violating somebody's rights, or maybe something you think ain't right, something bad about it or shady or whatever. But you don't do nothing because it's your buddy and you guys are both cops, and you don't want to get him in trouble. You don't want to get him written up. You don't want to get him fired. Where do you draw the line? Do you know what I mean? Does, I want to say, nepotism, not necessarily nepotism, which is like family. You're giving him a break because he's family, but not necessarily family, but a friend. Your friend, your partner. You know what I mean? You don't want him to get in trouble. You don't want him to get fired. Right? Where do your morals stand? Like, you gonna stand up regardless and say, you can't do that, man. Because when one bad cop lets another bad cop do something, that cop is just as bad as the other one doing something wrong.
Well, it just depends on the situation as of right now. The reason why it depends on the situation is because if a fellow police officer takes control of the situation, then the citizen is just to blame. If they're uneducated about their own rights, how's that? I have to see if taking an oath forfeits rights or not. Forfeits that person's rights. Because as a public servant, I don't know what rights that individual has.
When you clock in, you give up your rights
Ah,
for
okay.
privileges.
Oh, okay.
So now you have privileges of the badge, the gun. You got some authority. You have the ability, the privileges of telling people what to do.
Oh, so we
Just as
oh,
long
so
as
we
it's
so we can.
lawful.
Okay.
As long as you're giving lawful orders. Now you have the ability to, hey, cut that out. You're not doing. That's why it's important for you to know the law, know our rights, because now you have these powers, these privileges that allow you to take people to jail, to take, grab people, handcuff him, take away their freedoms with your with the with the handcuffs you have to pay for. But but you know what? Now you have these abilities, these powers that that you've given up for your rights.
Hmm.
And then when you clock out, you have your rights back, and those privileges are gone. Well, actually, I guess you can call on them privileges if you want, you know what I mean? On your off hours and you see something wrong, you can jump into jurisdiction.
Hmm.
But let me see comments here. Body snatchers. That's what they're calling you guys. Police officers, bodies. You know, and that's what you guys do. You guys are kidnapping people when they're not doing anything wrong. And and there's a lot of cops that do stuff like that. That just kind of, oh, you're getting on my nerves, so I'm gonna take you to jail. You know what I mean? Not gonna disturb you too much, right? You're just going to jail for a day anyway, so what is it gonna matter? You know what I mean? When officers started having that
Is that a
mentality.
privilege? Is that a privilege?
Oh, well, yeah, you have the privilege of being able to lock up people and body snatch.
Interesting. Legally. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Burial Joe, watching from Shiprock. Yeah, we have rights and cops have duties and privileges. Let's see, that says it all. You don't know your bro Jack because he's a cop, he said. Sounds like a good person. See, blue line gang mentality. Cops playing, he's he wants to know how to do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, he wants to do the right thing, and that's what most cops do is they come into this with the good intent of helping people out and wanting to solve people's problems that people have, that the public has. And sometimes when that good intention sometimes is, I would say sometimes is tainted by sometimes your own self-interests for your own safety too. For
Yeah.
instance, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes their decisions are tainted based on their interest in their safety instead of the public's. Yeah, he said some sketchy stuff, but he ain't like no like like any other member of the public who doesn't know our rights and just who's been indoctrinated the same way we have before we learned about the law and about our rights. He's kind of right there in that area where you know, in knowing me, he's kind of learned a little bit about people's rights and um and just government in general. And I gotta say, he would be a you know, like you guys said, he said some sketchy stuff because you know he believes in what the general public believes in. You know, safety. Uh, no, having to follow these rules for our safety, but he gets a little bit educated on the abuses of those beliefs, I guess you would say, right? Would you say you kind of understand um, why cop watchers do what they do and auditors do what they do,
Yeah.
right? For transparency and accountability, and that's all they want. And they want officers to honor their oath, which is, you know, a promise that they make to follow.
Yeah.
And that oath is to protect and defend our Constitution, our rights. And when you do that, you're protecting all of our rights. But you got to know them, and you can't protect them if you don't know them. So, but if you guys have been here for a while, we did go over it. He knows raps in general. He's got the idea, and I think he's gonna honor his oath. I think he's gonna try to do the best he can for the public. I think he wants to do the best he can for the public. And but what he needs is a little help from us. And as he goes through his training, I think he's gonna have some questions because he doesn't just follow orders either blindly. This is not the kind of guy to just follow orders. He's gonna ask why sometimes. You know what I mean? He's a little inquisitive. He's curious, and he wants to learn. He wants to educate himself. The more he educates himself on a lot of things about the world. And I think in this job, he's going to want to educate himself more on our rights and his duties. Our rights, his duties, and his oath. I hope.
Yeah.
Right? And it starts off with a small seed that he wants to do good. Good intentions for all of us. I can speak and vouch for me. You know, he's a good guy. None of us are perfect, but he's a good guy, and he wants to do the right thing and wants to do good for the people. Maybe you'll be able to save somebody someday. Who knows? Or not necessarily save anybody, but maybe be there for someone's comfort after a situation. You know what I mean? Cops aren't always there for that.
Just there to do paperwork, man.
Just there to do paperwork.
Y'all gotta protect yourselves.
That's what we should be doing, is protecting ourselves. But if we can't protect ourselves,
Call the
we don't have
firefighters.
we don't have the ability. Hopefully there's somebody that's brave enough that is taking an oath and that has some kind of honor and maybe some kind of duty to his brother and his fellow human being to help him out. He is really going to just be a paper pusher. I hope not. I think they're taking this as tickets. And if he's going to be pushing papers, hopefully it's going to be for the right thing. Writing up charges on thieves, on violent criminals, on those that are truly harming other people. No, I don't see. That's where all the paperwork he's going to be doing is. All right, pressing charges on this guy for hurting this person. We got the evidence.
Yeah.
Investigated it. We're gonna take this guy for jail for stealing. We're gonna take this guy to jail, or this woman, for battery on her husband. We're gonna take this this man in for stealing. That's the paperwork you want to see pushing. Because all that does take paperwork, I imagine. Alright, let's see, what time is it? Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna cut it here for this interview. We'll end it off here. You got any questions or anything? Oh, this is also the creator for what's your channel? Exploratory Night Walks.
Exploratory Night Walks.
So go to his channel, subscribe, check out it. It's not cop watching or anything like that. He just goes out at night, goes explore in certain places, undisclosed places, buildings, abandoned mines, buildings, side of the river, different places. Go check out his YouTube channel, guys. And I don't know, is there any advice you guys can give to him, or any other questions you might have for him? Kick the door in. And don't forget to use your taser as often as you can. All right, it's always fun to use your taser, right, guys? No, we don't have acorns here, but we do have pine cones. That can be just as scary. I don't think I don't think he's ever seen that video with the acorn, so I don't think he understands that joke. But here in New Mexico, we have pine cones. Well, he's not a pig yet. So you can go to his channel and still check it out, see what he has. He's not a pig yet. And there's a difference between honorable police and corrupt police. Pine cones are scarier.
God, jeez. I don't even want to ask.
I'll tell you what happened. There was a video with this officer who just finished arresting somebody, handcuffed him, put him inside the back of their vehicle, started walking around the corn around the vehicle, right? And an acorn falls on top of his vehicle. The cop, this is why we don't want scared people applying for this position, because this cop heard the acorn fall on the roof of his vehicle. He falls down into a rolling, shooting into his vehicle at the person, saying, shots fired, shots fired. Shooting into the vehicle, he just put the guy he just arrested and handcuffed shooting into there, screaming that out to the other police officer, and that other police officer starts shooting into the vehicle too.
Whoa.
And he's all rolling on the street, doing the, what do you call it, like in the movies, right? Rolling on the street as he's shooting.
Oh, wow.
The tuck and roll while he's firing his gun into his vehicle.
Oh. Maybe he wanted to use those bullets that he paid for himself. Okay.
And some other cops come in, he's already like rolled over to the end, and he's all, I'm shot. He's all, I can't feel my legs. And then his buddy's all, oh, where are you shot? Where are you? He goes, I don't know, I think in the back, so I don't know, I can't. And his buddy's checking him out. He doesn't see no entry wounds or any blood or anything. He goes, I think you're okay, man. I don't see any wounds. He goes, I don't know, man, my legs, I can't feel them. But the cop was okay.
Oh, good.
And, he was, but scared. His fear had him so much that after just handcuffing the dude, already searching him, handcuffing him, putting him inside the vehicle, locking him inside the vehicle, he still feared that he was being shot at from a suspect he just handcuffed and secured him inside the vehicle. Crazy.
Sounds like a
scared little bitch.
Sounds like a job well done. I was gonna say.
Yeah, someone.
That's a scary situation. That's a very scary situation. For the person like the.
For who? The guy in the
person
car.
in the car. Yeah.
It's scary for him, yeah. You know how the cop was scared. Here's an acorn fall. Dude, shot fired. Starts doing a tuck and roll and starts firing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny, man. Funny. Well, anyway, I appreciate you coming in here and doing an interview with everybody here. I'm glad. Hey, appreciate you guys being here for this interview. Maybe we can do this again. This was just kind of getting a feel for it. Maybe we can tell the people next time, get more people involved. Maybe get some more out of you. You didn't talk too much, or you talked a little bit and had some questions. But for the most of it, I think everybody here would like to know what happens in your training, what they tell you. It's like, to us, it's like a big secret. are they making you do quotas? You know what I mean? Or do they make you do like 30 tickets for every month? You know, to make sure you rank. You know, you advance or get something. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised the auditors don't already know.
Well, you know what? We like to get it straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the people. And you know, when we go and ask and talk to cops, sometimes they aren't as open. And they might feel like, oh, well, they're trying to corner us, or they're trying to get us in some kind of trick question or whatever. So a lot of the time, officers are quiet and don't want to speak on the subject or whatever. So, but I appreciate you coming in and listening to, you know, having an ear for these people here, see what they have to say, and scrutiny, handling the scrutiny, because, you know, a lot of the people here just want to get their grievances out. You know, you're not the police officer yet to where we can address our grievances too, but it's a start. And this is going to be maybe something you can be aware of and know that we're out there, and we want to see transparent officers and see people who are open and not trying to be douchebags and abuse their authority. Let's see, ask this guy if he is afraid of his own shadow. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. No, we all, you know what I mean? We all get scared, and if you're gonna be an officer and you're going out there and you're in a weird situation, you know what I mean? But to be scared of an acorn is another story after you secure somebody and put them away. And that's why it's important that you follow your steps and you know you are safe. But there's a fine line on your job. You're gonna have a tough job on handling your duties and honoring your oath. And they're gonna conflict. They're gonna be conflicting at times. Your duties and your oath are gonna be in conflict. But when it comes down, the bottom line is you honor your oath first. You guys, I was there you go, an interview from a soon-to-be officer, a successful applicant in the police field, and he's going to be cadet going into training later on this month, and maybe we can have another interview with him and leave some comments down there, see what we didn't discuss, and see what we can ask him later on next time, and maybe he'll have some stuff to ask us, and build a bridge between our public servants and us, and see if we can get some people in the right direction, and he can be a seed that's in there and that can teach other officers what we expect as the people, as we the people, and know his duties, and you know, know his capacities as a public servant and then as one of the people. When he clocks in, he's a servant. When he clocks out, then he becomes one of the people again. And I think that's where we'll end it, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Let everybody else know about this video and tell them they can check it out and see what they think. And maybe we can get another interview with my buddy. I want to say his name, but I don't know if I want to give his name out.
Not yet.
Not yet right now. He's not a public servant right now. We'll keep him private for now. And but I appreciate him. He's a good friend of mine, and we used to joke a little bit about him being a bootlicker.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? He is a bootlicker, but
he's grown.
He's grown a little bit. He's evolving and he's trying to understand. You know what I mean? I think all of us were a bootlicker at one time or another. You know what I mean? We all believed in the police and what they did for us and how they, how we believed that they were necessary and necessary for for our society, right? But like I said, he's grown step by step, and I think he really has the best intentions, and maybe we can get him following in the right path too. Maybe start kind of guiding him in the right direction, and he could guide others. You know what I mean? He can influence other officers out there in the field to do the right thing. But for now, that was for the record, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and we're going to be ending it here.